Hi, Milwaukee. I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Siakam. Giannis says no. Porter. Antetokounmpo. Oh my goodness! He's inhuman!
Giannis Antetokounmpo's development has been a revelation for basketball fans. If we wanted to, we could fill an entire video just listing off the many reasons why he's already in the conversation for best player alive, and could one day find himself in the discussion about the best players, well, ever. But given the nature of the modern NBA and the rapid movement of today's news cycle, you can't talk about Giannis these days without addressing the Greek freak-sized elephant in the room: his looming 2021 free agency and potential departure from Milwaukee. In an age of shorter contracts and unprecedented player empowerment, the clock starts ticking on a team's partnership with its franchise player almost immediately. In Giannis's case, the next year could be a whirlwind. His Bucks entered the Orlando bubble as the league's best regular season team for the second year in a row, and as an obvious title contender. Once that disrupted season comes to an end and a shortened 2020 offseason begins, the Bucks can offer Antetokounmpo a 5-year Supermax extension.
I feel like talking about my contract in a team that we have a chance in getting out of the East and playing the NBA Finals is disrespectful towards my teammate.
As a brief explainer, there are a few ways for players to qualify for the Supermax. As a recent MVP who will have 8 years under his belt when his current contract ends, and as a player who is on the team that either drafted him or traded for him while still on his rookie scale contract, Giannis qualifies. Such an extension would kick in for the 2021-2022 season, would be worth 35% of the salary cap in year 1, with 8% raises every subsequent season after that until the end of the deal, which in Giannis's case wouldn't come until 2026. To give you an idea of the kind of money we're talking about, a Supermax that began this season with a salary cap set at $109.1 million would have resulted in a total contract worth more than $224 million over 5 years. Now, take that same player, again with a contract starting this season, except have him sign a 4-year max contract with a new team that can only offer 5% annual raises, and you're talking about a contract that would have been worth just under $141 million.
Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
As you sit there computing that difference, you might assume Giannis re-signing with the Bucks is therefore a no-brainer. Lock in an extra year of security, a boatload of extra money, and stay with the only franchise you've ever known. A franchise, by the way, that has built a perennial 60-win contender around you.
Yes! Antetokounmpo!
If only things were that simple. For one thing, what's the incentive for Giannis to sign that extension this offseason as opposed to next summer? MVP talents of his caliber, in their primes, are still getting the same max offers regardless of health status or injury. Just look at Kevin Durant last summer. Whatever happens over the next year, that same Supermax offer is still going to be there from Milwaukee, and it will still kick in at the same time. Whether it's this year or next summer, re-signing with the Bucks does mean tens of millions of dollars more. But when talking about NBA superstars at Giannis Antetokounmpo's level, the amount of money rolling in off the court with respect to shoe deals and endorsements makes it a lot less likely that a player will choose a longer, bigger contract with his current team if he truly wants to fly the coop from a small market like Milwaukee. Bucks GM John Horst has done a tremendous job building a contender around Giannis, but the Bucks are far from perfect. For one, it still remains to be seen whether the supporting cast around Antetokounmpo is truly good enough to win a championship. Secondly, while the Bucks did spend money last year to keep Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Eric Bledsoe, they also left something on the table by not paying up to keep Malcolm Brogdon. Those kinds of frugal decisions could come back to bite you when it's time for your franchise player to assess how serious you are about going all in to win. Side note, can we take a moment to appreciate the hilarity of the Bucks catching a tampering fine for discussing their own player?
That doesn't make sense.
In the event Giannis doesn't sign the Supermax this year, if the Bucks don't win a title in the next 2 postseasons, Or they do and he still wants out, a la Kawhi last year. Where are the potential landing spots should the Greek Freak find himself weighing his options next summer? First up, look to the north, where the defending champion Raptors have become one of the league's model franchises under the leadership of team president Masai Ujiri. Whether it's scouting and developing on the court, or building an inclusive, high-character organization off of it, Ujiri's Raptors don't just talk the talk. They walk the walk year after year. And Toronto has become somewhat of a boogeyman for Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference, eliminating the Bucks in the 2017 and 2019 playoffs. As Kevin Durant once said, if you can't beat them, join them. Alright, KD never actually said that, but you know what I'm getting at.
Come on, man. Grow up.
Then there's the personal connection no other team executive can boast, a connection Giannis has even coyly poked fun at.
You're quite close with Masai, but I also know you're a competitor.
Who's that?
Ujiri helped Giannis' family emigrate from Nigeria, where Ujiri himself hails, to Greece.
But he's an unbelievable guy. Great GM, built a great team.
Toronto's sizable Greek population, which has already embraced Giannis even as a visitor, also can't hurt the city's potential free agent pitch. Staying in the East, we've already outlined why Miami should be seen as a sleeping giant in a previous episode of Unfiltered. In only the latest example of why Pat Riley has earned godfather status among NBA fans, the Heat went from a capped-out pile of mediocrity to landing a star in Jimmy Butler, employing one of the league's budding young stars in Bam Adebayo, and fielding a competitive team in 2019-20 while also opening up their own path to max cap space in 2021. That type of promise, coupled with Riley's charm, his bag full of championship rings, and the lure of a little place called South Beach, makes Miami an obvious contender in the Giannis sweepstakes. Then there are a couple Western Conference wildcards. Between the long-term deals Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins are on, the Warriors are capped out for at least the next couple years. But don't discount the championship organization team owner Joe Lacob once famously described as quote-unquote light years ahead of their competitors.
The Warriors have always been the big threat to go after Giannis. One, he's friends with Steph Curry. He has that same agency. They know each other. It would be a difficult construction to make happen, but that is the one looming threat.
Just as Butler forced his way to Miami when the capped-out Heat didn't look like free agent contenders, Giannis could theoretically do the same with Golden State, who could put a trade package together built around Wiggins and the 2020 draft pick the league-worst Warriors have coming their way. It's a long shot, but should Giannis signal to Milwaukee that he wants out, the Bucks would have to decide between trying to win with Giannis and potentially losing him for nothing, or trading the league MVP to recoup some semblance of future value that may never amount to the value one more year of Giannis is actually worth. It's a tricky spot no franchise wants to be in. But if Giannis does put the Bucks in that corner, you can bet the Warriors will be in the mix. How about the Lakers?
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
LeBron James has a player option for 2021-22, and Anthony Davis will hit free agency this year. But assuming the team still has LeBron and AD under contract in 2021, there won't be much room left for a third max-level star. And unlike the Warriors, LA doesn't have the type of asset capital required to trade for a star like Giannis. The Lakers parted with most of those players to land Davis. Still, some eyebrows were raised when the Lakers acquired younger brother Kostas back in September, and Giannis hasn't exactly done much to lower those eyebrows.
But if we could team up in a team in Milwaukee, LA, whatever, that'd be awesome.
Heck, even the Knicks might just be one bad coaching hire away from jumping into the mix. Sure, James Dolan's clown show of a franchise, also discussed on a previous episode of Unfiltered, still has a long way to go. And don't boast the overwhelming collection of young talent that a team who's been this bad for this long should boast. But New York is still New York.
The switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home!
The Knicks are on track to have a ton of 2021 cap space, and we have to at least give the new, well-connected front office of Leon Rose and William Worldwide Wesley a chance to prove themselves. At some point, a star free agent will come along that is enticed about being the savior at the Mecca, where Knicks fans will fawn over any star that even makes their beloved team respectable again. For now, you get the idea that Giannis is having a little fun knowing the basketball world is starting to hang on his every word. much like we did with Kawhi Leonard's free agency last year, LeBron James the year before that, and Kevin Durant back in 2016.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar.
Whether it's tweeting out reactions to 2K highlights of him as a Laker, or live tweeting about watching the Giants of Africa documentary that follows Ujiri and his incredible charitable organization, we'll be overanalyzing all of it until the NBA's next great free agency saga reaches its conclusion. Until then, the Bucks, Raptors, Heat, Warriors, Lakers, and any other team who believes it has a shot at the reigning MVP, yes, even the Knicks, will be carefully measuring how each next step affects their grand plans for the future, with Giannis Antetokounmpo at the center of those plans. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.